Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. It's episode 39, would you believe? 39. We're closing in on my age here. This is shocking. And we're halfway to Ben's. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If it's your first time, you're more than welcome. More than welcome. If you've been here many times before, you are more than welcome. If it's maybe your second or third, you're more than welcome. Everyone's welcome tonight. We hope you enjoy what you see. If you want to chat and join in, please do. There's often a bit of chat going on. If you just want to lurk, that's absolutely perfect too. If you want to pop in with the odd word of wisdom, that is great. Come and go as you want. Spend the Imperial credits as you want. You can't take them with you. And we hope you're here for a good time. And we love the fact that people come and watch us, and we really appreciate that. If you like what you see, then please consider a follow on Twitter at Boys Baltic, or on Instagram. I think that's Boys from the Baltic Star or something. I think that's right. Or consider a follow here. We'd be forever grateful, and we really appreciate such things. Anyway, I'm Luke. I'm in the blue Christmassy corner. I've got a little Advent snowman thing there. I've got some Christmas tree lights flashing over there. It's a little corner of paradisey Christmas in the corner. Next to me, in a scene of a winter wonderland, like a whiteout snow around him, with a wintry Canadian style shirt on, like he's going out to get some snow covered logs from outside for his fire. It is my friend, my comrade Ewan. Good morning, good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Good morning, Luke.
Good morning.
I'm more than welcome, apparently.
You are.
No, I'm good.
We're all
I'm
more
good,
than welcome. Fantastic. And we're next to each other, and you can see me today, so we can actually do a customary fist bump.
I can, but I always have to look down at my phone just to make sure I'm on the right side.
That was a good one, though. For those first time, Ewan and I are in control of our main stars of the show. Let's put it that way. Ewan has Agnar and Stefan. I have Cara and Soraya. If life was a play, as Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, wasn't it? Was it Shakespeare? I don't know.
It
Ben
was.
would know. Yeah. Hi, Ali. You're right. If all the world is indeed a stage, then Ben would be that one that creeps on and gets booed and hisses, and he's behind you. He is the man on the end in the eternal Twin Peaks dream scene. He is the referee, aka the GM. His word goes, his say is final, his power is absolute. His favourite vodka is also absolute, and his blood type is absolute vodka. How are you this evening, Ben?
Well, thank you. I mean, there is a little bit too much blood in my alcohol stream tonight, but I'm fixing that as we speak.
But it's still early. That's good.
Yeah, early.
Early enough. And as you can see in the stream, Sparrow's here, or Spezza, if you're first time, feel free to call him Spez. Ali's there. The crew are getting back together again. So we want everyone to settle down, grab a glass of whatever you're drinking, maybe a snack or two, maybe toast a marshmallow, stroke a cat, evil villain style. And Ben, it's over to you.
Okay, so last time, the travellers have embraced the spirit of espionage aboard the Seamstress. Confronted with a luxury suite on the ship used by a powerful Varga family and guarded by some well-equipped Varga personnel, Olivia Sharp, the security officer tasked with finding the murderer of archaeologist Brett Sagar, pointed the party to make use of resplendent former Imperial Marine Telon Rack, who recruited an old friend, Amelia Jax, in carrying out a bit of spying on the luxury suite. Inside, there was no evidence of Freya Kranev, colleague of the murdered Sagar, though she is believed to be there, nor any immediate link to fleeing suspect Midran Dakstar. They did meet two wealthy nobles from the Tarak clan, however, Tarak Tur and Tarak Ro. Laura Frost hasn't been seen for a while, and there's still a lot of suspicion about her involvement in the crime. The travellers are getting some help from July Cathedral, another security officer who was supposed to be called Catherine, but her parents encountered autocorrect in the registration form. Following other leads, Soraya has grabbed the opportunity to dress up as a giant fish.
Yes.
in the hope that you will find people willing to reveal their darkest secrets to a person in a fish costume. Only not really, of course. It's actually because the fish costume is the mascot for her beloved Geeker team, and this opportunity might not come around again. As this is underway, Kara and Agnar have attended a party hosted by the resplendent Rack and bumped into one of his onboard neighbours, someone who played with Soraya and Rick Verlo on the Geeker fan team. Now she, June Vicarage, comes from a desert world and her parents couldn't spell Dune, and she works in acquisitions. Not really. She's in high-tech import and export. Mostly very unremarkable, but she also offers, where there's a demand, access to some exclusive weaponry for the discerning client. Seeing a potential sale from the travellers, who definitely are likely customers because they've got money and they're often in trouble with armed people, she walked them to her own stateroom. She pulled out a briefcase, opened the lid, and the travellers got to look inside to see what sort of special weapons she might be offering. And that is where we resume the story. In fact, literally at the moment where you were just leaning in to take a look.
Ben, I've had a question on my mind all week.
Oh,
Okay.
the pain.
All week, and I blame
Okay.
you. This briefcase, once opened up, does this look similar to the briefcase for either the laptop or the weapon that Stefan found in the room that he broke into?
Roll a streetwise check.
Apologies.
Oh no.
This is Stefan, isn't it? I forget
This
who
will
we're.
be Agnar.
Agnar, wonderful.
Frosty's room.
I was so excited about the question that had been going on in my head the whole time. I wasn't sure who was going to attempt to get me the information. Oh, that's not good, I'm afraid. It's really,
Oh no.
really not good. That's a double one.
Oh no.
Okay.
Minus 3.
You are able to tell that it is, in fact, a briefcase and therefore shares that in common with what you found.
Can you so subtly try and sniff it? You know that. I mean, that was the best way. he'll do that as he's investigating. And obviously
Okay.
get nothing.
Fair enough.
He won't lick it because that's weird.
That would
But
be a
we've
weird
established,
thing to do, wouldn't
we've
it?
established that sniffing is, acceptable
Yeah.
on some level.
Yeah. If you want to do it subtly, you're going to have to roll a deception check or stealth check. Sorry.
Oh. Subtle sniffing.
I'd tell you what, those dice are going in the rehab zone.
Oh, come on, rehab zone.
I've had to use it already.
He's got a good nose, I think.
That is a 5 plus 1 stealth. Do I get any?
Yeah, you can have intellect. No, actually, as this is physical, you can have dex.
Oh, thank you very much. So that's a 5 plus 3 is 8.
8.
Oh.
Okay.
I've got a nonsense cat, but I am still listening.
As you lean over the case, you sort of take a little bit of an inhale to see if there's anything you can detect. It doesn't seem like your weirdness has caused her any alarm, so maybe you got away with it. But nothing particularly unusual about the case.
I'll call that a win, I think.
As good as it's going to get, anyway.
Yeah, certainly.
After
Okay.
Ewan's bad start with rolls, we've just started a prediction. If people want to earn some credits, will Ewan's next roll also be under a 6? That's a natural 6 without adding the modifiers. So get some bets in there. One of the boys will match you to make sure someone wins. If only 1 or 2 people put their credits in, win some credits. Roll up. I'm a bit worried about this case though, because I've been thinking all week. I've been envisaging things like Indiana Jones. So when it opens up, either I'm seeing the glowing gold or my face is going to melt. One of the two.
Yeah.
It's in fact the Ark of the Covenant.
It is in fact all along.
I mean, it could be like Pulp Fiction. You never know.
Oh,
it's just a MacGuffin.
it's It
It could be a MacGuffin. So, Vicarage opens up the case, and you sort of peer, and as she does, she kind of turns it slightly so you can see the contents. And inside, there are 3 weapons in cutouts in a sort of foam protective lining. One is a fairly large-looking pistol, and the other 2 are carbines.
Did we all see Stefan's weapons, or did he keep it to himself?
He's the only one who actually saw them.
Yes, so ignore the weapon part of the question if I didn't roll a natural 2.
From Kara's limited, I guess, knowledge of what she's got, a working use of weapons, I guess, but from her position, do they look fancy?
Are they shiny enough?
Do they look? Are they like, like modern
Shiny.
things have that sort of black matte sort of thing? We don't do silvers or reds anymore. It's all blues and blacks and yeah. Do they look all like cool and sleek and shiny?
Okay. I'm going to suggest that the nature of them means you need to roll a check against your slug combat stat. And you can add to it general intellect.
Okay, that's good. Well, that's good. So I have no knowledge of slug, except if a weapon is shiny. So that's a -3, and intellect is +2. So I'm rolling a -1. The dice have not been in a rehab zone, so anything could happen here. They're into the Wild West, quite frankly. Come on. Oh, not so good. It's a 6. -1 is 5.
Okay. They look very much like man-portable type weapons. And nothing in particular stands out that makes you think these are in some way special. The only thing I can tell you is that the 2 carbines look identical to each other.
Okay.
So Vicarage begins her sort of spiel, and she says, so we've got examples here of the kind of things that I can get my hands on. These aren't by any means the only types of equipment, but these are the types I most recently supplied, and so these are the ones I've got to show you. And she reaches down and takes out the pistol, and she says, "This is a flechette pistol. It's completely silent. And unlike standard off-the-shelf models, it has a slightly larger magazine without adding to its bulk, and the design of the barrel makes the flechettes carry some armor-piercing capability as well, making it a little bit more useful when you're dealing with someone who needs to be killed very quietly, but also who might have access to armor or bulletproof glass or something like that. The kind of thing that happens on a typical Wednesday for many of my clients. It also does slightly more damage than a standard off-the-shelf weapon. And I can supply these at a cost of 2,000 credits.
Ooh.
And she sort of hands it over to Agnar so that he can take a look.
Good choice.
He'll sort of as a show of his competency with slug-based weapons, which isn't amazing, but he's quite familiar with his shotgun. He'll just give it a once over and cock it. I assume does it need to be chambered, cocked?
Yes.
Don't know the tech level.
It's essentially a very sophisticated air pistol.
but he'll give it a once over from his view, trying not to look like a complete noob in front of the person that's trying to sell us arms.
It looks, I mean, undeniably, it looks like a very nicely made example of a flechette pistol. It's not fantastically superior to one that you could buy anywhere off the shelf, but it's a good one, and it is a general improvement, but obviously at a very substantial hike in price.
Yeah, he'll sort of give a little so look over to Kara and then hand it back.
Okay.
And the other two?
She says, well, this one, and she pulls out one of the two carbines. This is just a bit more special. It's a Gauss carbine, essentially a cut-down folding stock version of a Gauss rifle. The range is a little bit lower, and it's not quite as efficient at penetrating armor. But in exchange for that, it's fully suppressed, making the weapon silent at point of launch, though the flight of the projectile isn't. So people will know there's shooting going on, but they won't find it easy to identify where the shooting's coming from if you're out of sight. And it's fully magnetically compensated for full auto fire. This means it's more accurate, and for skillful people, much more accurate at longer ranges. It is, of course, capable of burst fire and fully automatic. It takes completely standard Gauss rifle ammunition, so there's no difficulty getting replacement parts. And it has a very nice full spectrum scope for its aiming, which is not only capable of operating from pitch dark to broad daylight and in all atmospheric conditions, but also you can see through almost all forms of smoke and other obscuring chemical. Because it's more accurate and more effective, at least at short to medium ranges than a typical Gauss rifle, it does cost a little bit more. And the list price for these is 6,000 credits. And she hands it over to let Agnar give you one. So
yeah, have a look at it, but we'll quite happily hand the effectively cut down Gauss rifle in carbine form over to Kara to have a look at and sort of nod at her like, don't you have the bigger brother version of one of these?
Kara sort of looks at it from an artistic point of view, I guess, and sort of admires looks around it, admires the lines, considers how it might look slung across a shoulder or across a back. Says, no, Agnar, I'm all laser. I can't be dealing with this. I know people that would be interested though. Soraya, she loves a Gauss and a slug weapon.
It's the old memory. Sorry,
that's
my apologies.
Right. I know all girls look the same to you.
All humans.
All humans look the same. Exactly.
I knew someone in our crew sported the larger version of this.
Yeah, it looks good though, and we have got, what with our future, we have got crew members that could do with this sort of armament. I think it'd be a step up for what we have on the ship. Very much standard stuff, isn't it? And these are not unreasonable prices.
I'll be honest, as a former military general, our ship's armory is very well. It's full of paper and alcohol and not many weapons, other than what we carry on our persons. Make of that what you will.
She nods and says, "Well, if you're interested, I can supply these from stock on demand today, if you needed them today. Well, probably tomorrow in the morning." She takes it back and puts it in, and then takes out the other one that looks exactly the same. And on very close examination, you can see there are a couple of minor differences to the scope, but nothing else that looks really obvious. And she says, "Now this is a bit special. It's essentially the same weapon, as I'm sure you can tell immediately. However, this is designed to operate with guided munitions as well. It has an inbuilt computer one with a bandwidth modification, which allows it to use smart ammunition. Now, smart ammunition, depending on the circumstances and how stealthy your opponent is, can offer an absolutely massive increase in effective accuracy. Essentially, the weapon's scope, controlled by the computer, tracks your eye movement, and it hits whatever you're looking at through the scope, irrespective of where the barrel's pointed. So provided you are looking at the target will get hit pretty much every time.
Wow.
It is, of course, still fully suppressed. It has the magnetic compensation. It's routinely more accurate, even using standard ammunition. And it is therefore capable of being a very special weapon indeed for the right customer. Now, obviously, that kind of technology is not cheap. So these are 36,000 each.
I think that's very, very reasonable for such high technology. We've got a few people who could use a lot of help when it comes to firing.
And how about munitions, especially for that last one? It sounds very specialist. Can you provide?
Yes, the standard 80-shot magazine for the Gauss rifles is, of course, usable in this weapon, but then you lose the advantage of the smart guidance. An 80-shot smart ammunition magazine costs 600 credits.
600 credit, 80-shot mag. I've got a feeling
Akmal has a little think, and not being the most intelligent of the crew, thinks that it sounds quite reasonable per shot. And you can provide that as well, I assume.
Oh, absolutely.
Karma starts working out some maths on her fingers. She says, June, would you excuse myself and Agnar for a moment while we just have a little chinwag in the corner?
Of course.
So Kara will pull Agnar over and say, I've been thinking for a while, it might be nice to have, how I've set up on the Baltic Star, we've got our storage, which is currently full of a lot of fish.
Yeah.
I was wondering about, and we've got our shared Baltic Inc. account. I was wondering whether it was worth starting to stock the Baltic Star up with weapons for crew and us as needed, and to have something. I'd imagine having some standard stuff, but especially for the pistol and the first carbine, this is not disgusting price to give us the edge if we found ourselves in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah. I think we could certainly set up a room for that sort of thing for the crew should things turn south. Perhaps some kind of security clearance on the door, or we could repurpose anywhere that has that kind of thing already, I suppose. And
we've got two of the best engineers in the system on board.
We certainly do.
So I was wondering, because we've got 32,400 in the account at the minute in the ship's accounts, and we've got a lot of fish
stuff to sell.
We've got over 100,000 credits worth of fish to sell as we go along. But I was wondering whether to use, if we could sort of have a check with the other guys, if they'd be willing to sort of spend some of this 32,000 on maybe some of those less expensive weapons, and maybe if people are willing to put a little bit more in to get a couple of the fancier ones. No use to me, but I would hope I could come across some laser stuff in the future. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, well, to be honest, firstly, I thought exactly of you when she started talking about smart munitions and computer guided stuff. I mean,
I'm a smart girl.
you're the tech whiz. But I think that's a great idea. I think from my perspective, I'm happy to clear out the Baltic funds, assuming we can find someone relatively quickly to move on some of the supplies we have. Perhaps not clear them out, leave a little bit of contingency. But we've got contingency on our person as well, should we need it. But we could certainly buy some weapons and some rounds for the crew, just in case. We are, as you say, going well, frankly, to the middle of nowhere, unexplored space. And who knows what we might come across. I also thought, what was that? Do you remember many moons ago? Not when we first met, but when the crew first got together. What was that thing that Soraya and Stefan kept going on about? They really wanted.
Was it a pocket nuke?
Oh, that's the one.
Nuke?
Do you think she could? Is it worth asking or not?
I don't know. Sort of Kara turns around a bit too casually for asking such a question about such a lethal weapon. He says, "You ever have any pocket nukes?"
Roll a persuade check for me, please, with disadvantage.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, with
a bane.
Bane.
With a bane,
And
yeah.
you can have you can have intellect with it.
Thank you. Okay,
Oh,
2
nice.
plus 2 plus 4. Okay, it's a plus 4. It's possible. It's possible. Come on. Just need one good one. Just need one good one. Not two good ones. Oh, I think far too big, Ben. She's gonna say yes to anything I wanted. I should have asked for more. A 6, a 5, and a 5 plus 4, 14.
14.
14.
She smiles and chuckles. She's obviously not offended by the question, and she says, "I don't think I've ever even been offered one of those by one of my contacts. Sorry."
That's okay.
It's worth asking. It's high up on our some of our friends' lists for some reason.
34,
and then Agnar will go back into our little privy talk and just say, "Yeah, I think we can definitely do some business here. Perhaps a bit of haggling for some bulk purchases, but."
36. Okay. 36. Okay. Kara
You
says,
do maths.
Kara says, why don't you go back in and schmooze with Rack, and I'll sit here with my new trading partner and work out some maths with her. If that's okay with you, June?
Of course.
Fantastic. So if we can jump away from Kara for a little bit, so I can actually do a bit of mathematical stuff for a second, that'd be magic.
Absolutely. So, well, in that case, we probably better not jump to Soraya just in this precise moment.
Soraya, no.
So, Soraya. Agnar, perhaps you would return to the rack party then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That seems like the obvious place to go.
Yeah. The rack party seems to have spilled out into the companionway a bit. The door is now just open and people are milling in and out. But it seems one of those sort of just stop by and say hi kind of things. People, for the most part, aren't sticking around. It's really just Rack and Amelia Jax kind of holding court. The others come and go fleetingly.
Mm. Is it a different, very much a different set of personnel as when we first came in? Or is it sort of a bit of a...
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nobody there you recognise other than Rack and Jax from when you first arrived.
Okay, and they're all sort of gathered around.
They're sort of coming along, having a quick short and disappearing. You know, it's say hello to your neighbours, but I mean they're not close, you understand. And though Rack is quite friendly, he's also a little bit intimidating for the inexperienced.
Sure. Okay. Agnar will walk up to the circle and he'll slap Rack on the back as hard as he can, which isn't very hard, and just say, "Oh, Rack, sorry, I had to step out for a minute. Some business. Who are these new people?"
He turns to you with an enormous grin, which, you know, on a Varga is a big thing, and says, "I have not the slightest idea," and throws back his drink.
Ah, my kind of party. Would you like another? What am I doing? This is your place. Can I get you another? And Agnar finishes off his drink as well.
Okay. Rack vaguely waves you towards the corner of the room where there's a little stack of bottles waiting to be opened and poured.
Wonderful. And I'll pick up a couple of drinks and bring them back. So is this the normal? I don't want to say cruise because we've already established that you don't go on many of these things, I believe. But is this your normal social life? Do you have a lot of fleeting visitors that you don't know to your parties?
He sort of thinks about it for a second, possibly slightly more intently than you sort of think the question deserves. And then he says, "Can't remember the last time I had a party. I don't really know how they're supposed to go. I usually turn up at them and my face is everywhere because I'm guest of honor, you know. It's weird being the one who's throwing one, isn't it?"
It's certainly a different experience. I will say from both sides of the coin. How are you finding it?
It's fine. Yes. It's actually quite refreshing that the people sort of stick their head round the door because the door's open and there's noise. And I say, "Come on in, have a drink." And they do. And then they say, "Thank you." And they go. And none of them necessarily know who I am. It's rather nice.
It's a wonderful, casual, approachable type of party to have.
Yes, indeed. And since when I get to Dillabrew, I'm sort of, well, planning to head out into the wilds a bit. It's quite nice to have one last moment surrounded by the people.
Yes, of course. Have you got somewhere particular on Dillabrew to that you'll start? I mean, I guess you can wander wherever you want if you're out in the wilds.
He leans in slightly and says, "Can you keep a secret?"
I certainly can.
So can I.
That's good to hear. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't be secluded and out in the wild if too many people got wind of it, and you being there by yourself would no doubt attract some attention. I can appreciate that.
He leans back and sort of throws his arms wide and roars out, "I know!" The booming laugh.
Well, let me just say,
Fiddy's here. Stop. That's worth pausing for. Hey, Fiddy. Not bad Fiddy, good Fiddy. Not pervert Fiddy. Our beloved Fiddy. Sorry, carry on.
The meta mind is back.
No, that's okay. Don't be sorry. There are no apologies for welcoming socks.
You just missed 30 minutes of maths. Don't worry about it.
And small talk. Maths and small talk.
Maths, small talk, and sort of vague catalogue.
That's the episode
title. So far, it's been a glorified shopping episode. Nobody even bought anything.
Maths and small talk. That's brilliant. Well done.
Well, can I just say on a personal level, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I'm certainly glad that I had the opportunity to do so before you disappeared for hopefully a long and uninterrupted time into the wilds. And he'll raise his glass and see it back. And how's the maths coming, Luke?
It's done. It's good. It's good, man. It's good. I'm ready to roll. If you want to cut,
Okay.
away.
Yep. If you want to cut back to Vicarage and Kara.
Cool. Kara's obviously had a device, and she's been typing some numbers as we'd expect. And he said, "Okay, I'm really looking forward to starting our burgeoning and ongoing trading relationship, where I hope we'll both be able to scratch each other's backs and both make each other a lot of money. And of course, you got to spend money to make money. I've heard there's something about speculating to accumulate. I believe them capitalists talk about. I've got an offer for you for some gear, if you'd consider it.
Okay.
We would like 4 of those carbine Gauss rifles. You know, the folding stock ones, the silent ones, the auto compensation.
Yep.
5 flechette pistols.
Okay.
2 of the guided carbines, the fancy ones, with 10 magazines for that. Ben, for your maths, that's worth 112,000. By the way, at her price, all of that together.
Okay. Thank you.
That's okay. Now, I don't like ripping people off, but at the same time, you and I both work in the idea of trying to make a deal and sort of, bulk sales. You got to try it, haven't you? Would you consider 75 for all of those as the start of our relationship?
So, 112 list price. You want to pay 75.
Sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure we can nibble a bit off the price since you're ordering so much in one go, but that's one hell of a discount you're after.
It is. What sort of discount were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking I can do the lot for 110.
110. Wow. I have heard around the ship. They've talked a lot about your generosity. That's what Saraya told me about you. It was the first thing she said. I don't know if she told you about me though, and I'll just try things on. You see, I've gone big on numbers more than I think we need, as a sign of friendship, I guess, and wanting to make that first big deal with you. And I could cut the deal down if needed, but I would like that full amount again as a sign of initial friendship. How about 85?
Well, it is a big order, and I'd like to show willing to help establish our friendship on a firm footing going forwards. But at this point, I need you to roll a persuade, please.
That's absolutely fine. Do I get to add anything with persuade? Is she
Yeah,
drunk
you
at
can
all, or
have
is she?
intellect and social. Social and persuade will do.
Social
Yeah.
persuade. Okay, cool. That's good numbers though. Let's see. Well, it depends how tough the roll is. It's all right, I think. It's a 7 plus 3 is 10.
A 10. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad, not bad, not bad, guys. Not
Bad
bad.
at all.
She says,
Wilson.
I can come as low as 90.
That is very generous. As an aside, Ben, how much flechette rounds?
What?
A mag of
This
flechette.
requires, though they use essentially standard ammunition, they require custom magazines. There are 100 credits per mag.
For the flechette pistols, yeah.
Yeah, and a mag holds 25.
Okay, 25 per mag, 100 credits. Okay, so 90, you say? Okay, if you and I've gone for 85. If you could throw in 20 mags of flechettes, 2,000 worth, I'll go 90.
20 flechette mags to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Deal.
That's fantastic. Carver holds out her hands for a bit of a handshake / slap.
Mm-hmm.
Says, I hope this is the start of a beautiful relationship. I'll need to gather some money. You know how accounts work. I need to gather money in, but you also said, it'd be tomorrow by now. Shall we carry it through tomorrow?
She folds the case shut and tucks it back in the corner, and she says, "Come and see me in the morning. I'll take you down to my ship in the hangar, and we can do the trade then. You can take away the kit and have at it with a bit of your credit card."
I'm just hoping that someone plays Daddy Agnar mode when I go down the... lovely, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's
I'm pretty sure we established that Daddy Agnar mode wasn't for bulk purchases.
Fantastic. Let's. I'll tell you what. My glass is empty. Let's go back and have another drink.
Okay. She happily joins you, closing the door firmly behind her. You noticed that the weapons did not have magazines in them, and there didn't seem to be any in the case. So it looks as if she just brought samples of the weapon, not any live rounds for them.
Makes sense.
And she just pulls her door closed and rejoins you at the party.
Cool. As we wander back down the short walk to the door, Kara will just sort of jovially say, "Have you Are we the first sale you've made on this ship, or has it been quite a profitable trip for you so far?"
You're the first sale I've actually made on the ship, but I had a client aboard I'd prearranged for sales with, so I was able to complete a transaction my first evening.
That's good. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm glad you're doing business. I hope we're not the last. I hope there's still a few days left of this cruise. I hope you make more money. Come on, let's have a drink.
She smiles and says, "Of course. I mean, despite the fact no one could possibly need weapons on a ship like this, it's always possible that somebody going to Dillabrew will be looking for something for their onward journey."
Well, there are a lot of big game on Dillabrew, I've been told. 6-legged beasts.
There are indeed. Yes. Yes.
I'll drink to that. Yeah. I'm not a hunter myself. How about you? Are you into the killing game at all?
It's not my preference for how to spend my time. I've been on a few hunts, but mostly as a sort of sales event, let people take out the weapons and see what they can do. It's not quite the same thing as being, just having fun on the hunt itself. It wouldn't be to my taste.
Same. The last hunt I went on, I was hanging badly and just pouring people drinks while they were shooting at the poor defenseless creatures.
Yeah. I've always felt that to really enjoy the hunt, the enemy has to be as well armed as you are.
You'd love to join our hunts, believe me. Maybe we'll still have a chance to hunt together on the ship, but hopefully not. And then Clara goes straight past all the fancy whiskies when they get into the room. pulls a beer out of the fridge, offers one to June. Don't know if that's what she's going to drink, but I don't know. Pops the top off in whatever futuristic way there is. I always see the future to be more the American style of just twisting them off rather than needing a bottle opener UK style. There's something about the future that feels twisty to me.
I have this weird feeling that some things would be the same a million years in the future. They just work so fundamentally well. It's
It just works.
It's never going to need fixing.
Well, if not,
as a quick aside, have you guys seen the beers that have got like a little recess in the bottom of the bottle, so it fits on top of the cap, and you can use it to twist off your next cap? They're pretty cool.
That's clever.
I can't remember where, but I have seen one of those. Yes.
I can't remember which particular type of beer it is. Perhaps chat.
I'm making
someone in chat, surely.
I'm making them canon. Whatever that geek spear was from Geeker, that's now canon. Some twisty hole in the bottom. And
essentially, it does guarantee you always buy at least 2 bottles.
Exactly.
Very good selling.
Because the bottle is unopenable if you've only got one of them.
Yeah.
We don't need to stay with Cara, but what she would like to do over the course of the evening is, without seeming too attached or stalky or anything, just keep good vibes with June and make sure the booze is flowing, probably slightly more towards June than herself, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But like I said, we don't need to do this, punch by punch to get through to there. We can go elsewhere, but that's what I'd like to do over that bit.
Okay, so essentially you're keeping June occupied and making sure she doesn't forget about you.
Don't you forget about me. Yeah. First line of any song.
Fair enough.
Bit of breakfast.
Whoa! Hello.
Sorry, that was me. It wasn't me. It was a train, but it was my end.
Clip your end, did you say? Clip it.
Beans
please.
on toast are not your friend. I mean, in this party, Rack is wandering around hugging everybody randomly. I mean, just throwing his arms around people you understand and bellowing at them, have a good time, have a drink. He's clearly enjoying himself, and he's had a he's enjoying the drink, he's enjoying the company, and that's all good. So, where's Stefan?
That is a very good question. What were Stefan and Soraya? Were they hanging out together?
The guns are
Was that the plan?
Stefan had run back, hadn't he, to get the
off
hats.
to collect the costume together.
Yes. Which
Soraya got. She got handed it, so she's got the costume.
No take backsies.
No.
Looks precious over that costume.
It smells a bit sweaty, like it's been used a lot of times and never laundered properly. Probably because it's big and unwieldy and made of a weird man-made material.
Yes. Was that at the bar? Did we pick that up at the?
No, you collected it from the security office.
Okay, cool, perfect. Stefan will probably wait outside. Find the nearest bar, food place, somewhere where he can just stand and order a couple of beers, one for him and one for Soraya when she gets back with.
Well, Soraya's likely to be heading for Duke's.
I'm off to Duke's, mate. Meet me there. Meet me at Duke's.
I'll meet you there. I'll get the round in.
Duke's. Get the round in.
All right. And Soraya, where are you going to change into the costume? Or are you in fact changing into the costume immediately?
Is it more than just a big plastic thing? Are they like tights, like Robin Hood Men in Tights kind of tights, or is it literally just slot the body over? There's no big, like, chicken feet for some strange reason, is there, or anything?
The way it works is that it's essentially just a sheath that fits over the head and drops down beyond the ankles and beyond the feet. It's a underneath, there's actually a little bit of structure to it. A sort of belt and jerkin set, which contains the controls for the fans.
Fans? A fan surrounded by fans.
The
Yeah,
geeks,
because-
the geeks fans.
Now, no
Because-
wonder there is jerking now.
This is designed to allow you to maneuver in 0G.
Oh yes.
And the sort of tail of the suit, once you're floating, will just trail behind you beyond your feet. So the sophisticated part of the suit is really the inside rather than the outside, but it does loosely fit to the shoulders and waist as well, to provide it some anchoring point. And then, of course, it has a distinctive, separately framed piece over the head to maintain the shape of the fish.
Is it a fish that protrudes from the belly as such, or is it just like an up and down? Hang on a sec. Let me show you what I mean. Hang on.
You're gonna get diagrams.
I'm getting a picture, mate. Hang on a sec. Does it look like this? People can't see what I'm looking at now, can they? I hope. All sorts of weird fish related.
Can't see his internet search history, can we?
I hope not. It's full of weird sci-fi stuff for this stupid channel. Is this basically what Sarai now looks like?
Nice.
I mean, it's not entirely wrong, but it's much longer than that.
Okay.
At about the knee-ish level, it splits into multiple strands heading downwards, so that it's walkable in, but in practice, you once you're floating, it'll just stream out behind you as you float.
Oh, it sounds beautiful. If only Surveyor was skilled enough to use it to its full extent. I feel like it's going to be wasted on me, but never mind. We'll leave it there for now. We'll use that as a visual representation of Soraya. There we go. Close enough. I will get changed. So there probably needs some shenanigans to get it together. She will carry it back to our apartment, because that is close to Duke's, isn't it? Because we're in the fancy part of the ship.
It is very close.
She will go back to the apartment, and if there's any of the women especially around, I don't know if there's anyone, she'll try and get them into helping her into this ridiculous but glorious costume, jerkin and all.
Okay. Yeah. It is, well, as you can imagine, exactly as complicated to get into as you'd expect. However, it does take a not just a certain amount of hassle to get into, but once you got into it, you're not completely confident that you have the complete control set down pat either. It might take a bit of practice to get good with the actual flying around thing.
At least I've only got to walk in Duke's, at least, I guess. As long as no one asks me to show off my skills in the pitch late at night, I should be all right, hopefully. I hope. Who helped her into the... it's not too important, but who helped her into the fish? Pick someone, Ben. Who was there?
It would probably have been Rick, I would think.
Ray's a big fan of the geeks as well. He's probably very thrilled by this. She'll turn to Rick. She'll half raise her fin in and up the geeks, and she'll say, "How do I look, Rick? How do I look? Tell me the truth."
Solid, actually.
We've just been hit,
pretty good.
We've just been hit with a random Timming. Tim.
Oh, Matt Guffin is a good NPC name as well.
Good save.
I like it. And a Tim. Tim. Sorry, I missed the Tim.
Tim. Rick.
Tim.
Rick. How do I look? Cool. Matt Guffin is very good for his.
I love it.
So feeling kind of resolute in her outfit, she sort of holds open the big fishy mouth to try and get Rick to pour a bottle of beer into her throat as best as it can. Probably streams down her chin and all sorts of mess because he's probably pouring into a blackness that he can't quite fathom.
The two of them flounder a little bit.
Physically and metaphorically. She's like, right, you coming to the bar as well, Rick, or what's your plan for this evening?
I wouldn't miss this one for the world.
Come on, come along. Stefan's buying drinks. Come and have a good time. You can have a photo with the fish later. Let's schmooze. Yes.
Excellent stuff.
It's going in the notes. Soraya gets changed, drags Rick to Duke's. Okay, that's canon. Make a note of it, everyone. We're gonna make heavy use of Rick now. Okay. Stefan's always buying Fids. Well, not when Agnar isn't, of course. Agnar spent all his money on guns. If you guys time it right.
If you guys do the right thing, by Luke.
So you make it to Duke's, and obviously this time there is a bit of a stir when Soraya arrives, because people are quite excited to see the costume again, and they stand there and take pictures and selfies and things of that nature, and the various Tims make sure that Soraya is properly watered as the evening goes on. It turns out if you're the mascot, you don't really end up buying much.
Yes.
Partly because there's really nowhere to keep your wallet.
I want to be the mascot every night. I need to speak with Frosty.
Sorry, Ben. Can I quickly interject to a bit of time that Stefan would like to spend before Soraya arrives in said costume? Whilst he's ordering some drinks, he'll call over one of the regular Tims. He won't call him Tim. He'll just excuse anybody that looks like they're serving drinks or is particularly in charge. I'll have another beer while I'm waiting for my friend. And I wonder if you could do me a favour. I don't know whether you've heard about the appearance of the Geekum mascot tonight. But one of my friends has managed to wrangle their way inside the costume. I was hoping you could do me the great favour of perhaps a small hazing. You know, the usual. You've got a new person in the costume and you send them out for a bit of an impossible task or something that's ridiculous in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
I'd make it worth your while.
Really? So what kind of task do you have in mind?
Well, I mean, you guys must have something that's purely ridiculous that you give the new guy in the costume, or some kind of general hazing.
How much are you going to pay them, Stefan? 30 pieces of silver, you Judas. How dare you? Me and the chat are very upset. Well, Sparrow's not upset at all.
Not all night. Just a once off. This is quite a special night for them. But you know that
Thanks,
a little bit later on when they've had a few and they've loosened up a little bit. There
is one thing that people often ask of the mascot and sort of place a little bit of friendly wager on. There's a ritual that the mascot can do. Basically, we push them out into the pitch, and then we time them from the point they leave the boundary out to the center of the pitch, through the wicket, and back again.
Now, you see, this sounds perfect, but what if on the way back again we all had a load of fans and we were trying to blow them in the opposite direction? Doesn't that sound more fun?
I mean, it actually does, but there are a couple of problems with that. The first is that we don't actually have large numbers of fans just lying around.
No, I mean, that's fair.
And the second is that there's a slight thing, a sort of slight issue, where you'd really annoy anyone who'd bet on a quick time.
Yeah, that's true. And to be fair, I want my friend back eventually. You know, she's good fun to have a few drinks with. I'm sure you'll find out later. Okay, let's do your thing. That sounds a very amusing evening for everyone involved.
Okay, well, I think the regulars will appreciate it. They usually do. And the reality is, if she's new, let's not tell anyone. She's going to be slow. So you never know. You could even win a bob or two.
Who takes the bets, generally speaking?
They're handled by individuals offering each other a wager between themselves. There's no central pool, you understand?
Sure. But if you, I'll tell you what, my good friend, get me. I've just heard from my friend. She's on her way with another one of our colleagues.
I'm on my way, Stefan. I'm on my way.
Thanks, Soraya. Send. Get me 3 beers. And if you can point out to me anybody who looks a little bit flush that might be willing to have a bet on said race, I'll make the tip on the 3 beers very worth your while, and he'll flash over his cashless card and he'll pay for 3 beers and he'll give 200 credit tip.
Oh wow!
Fantastic, lovely, yeah.
What's the general total on that, Ben?
Well, essentially that'll work out at about 215.
Perfect.
5 credit.
That's a very healthy tip.
Well, I figure so. But just remember, anybody who looks to be splashing the cash around and might be up for a bit of a bet, maybe had a few too many drinks, just let me know.
Okay.
Thank you, Sock Fiddler has gifted a tier 1 sub to Top Town Dable Tip. Top
TDT,
top
yes.
Down
To TDT.
Top
Down tabletop.
To Sock Fiddler and to Top Down Tabletop. Thank you very much.
To the
Look
both
at you.
of you. Thank you.
Look at Fitz giving it all this. That's letting it rain. You know. Thank you. I need to be in touch, TDT, for your free zine that you get as a sub. I'll message you about it. I'll message you about it later. I'm about to have horrible things happen to me, so we'll worry about that first.
Nice things, Luke. Nice.
You say horrible. They're not that horrible, are they, really?
I don't like the
Ben
embarrassment.
reined it in from what I wanted. I wanted you floundering out there trying to get back with fans blowing you in the other direction. Like some kind of perpetual motion machine.
Slowly
with energy going in, obviously.
Yes. So it is moments later, of course, that Soraya shuffles in.
She comes.
In the suit that looks very little like that.
What? Is in my mind.
And immediately surrounded by people who want their selfies and pictures and say hi and are excited. It's an evening crowd at a fairly reputable sort of place, Dukes. So it's not ridiculously boisterous or anything weird. It's a sort of fairly gentle sort of environment, but they're very, very happy. And it is just a few moments before Soraya is quietly asked by a couple of the regulars whether she's going to do the lap through the wicket and back and against the clock, because there are a few people who, well,
what?
Basically,
what? Yeah. What? What?
You go up the ramp,
Right.
climb into the actual pitch, and hold
Okay.
on to the boundary.
I can do that. Yeah, that's okay.
Right. Then, whenever you're ready, you let go and set off as fast as you can out to the centre of the pitch. You
Yeah.
go through the wicket, through the tube,
Right.
and back here and
Cara,
touch
Cara,
around.
here's your bit. Have a bit. Stefano will interrupt.
Okay.
Okay.
Here you go,
No,
Rick.
no, I'm not okay. Where's this nonsense? I'm not a
So that's what you do.
17-year-old boy.
Tradition.
What?
Right.
Tradition.
Yeah.
Is it?
One
Will
of the
it?
things about the mascot suit is that it can maneuver in 0G. You know, it's got these little fans on it.
The suit can. I can't.
Be one with the suit.
Can I waggle my backside at the Kookaburra bar while I'm out there?
Well, it would be rude not to.
Oh, well, it's the one reason I might go out there is to abuse the Dilla Brew fans. She's feeling a bit pressured into it, I guess. She knows, but on the other half, she knows that she's signed up to an evening of potential nonsense, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd really hope for Colonica to randomly be on the cruise out of nowhere. Okay, pour that beer down me, and with her flippers, she sort of forces the fish head a bit open. Says, aim for the middle. The mouth's open.
Yeah, you're baby birding it.
Exactly. It just drips out down her legs. Okay, she'll turn to Stefan quietly and say, I bet you've got a book going on this, haven't you?
I haven't yet, but I'm trying to find one. Do you want another bit, by the way?
I'll tell you what, Stefan, dear buddy, dear friend, dear pal, who would never betray me in any sense of the word. If we can delay it for 5 minutes, one more beer. You find some people. You come back to me. Tell me whether you want me to try my hardest or not try at all, and we'll split the money in some way. Yeah.
I'll scope the room and see what the general vibe is. See where I can get the most action. I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what. If you see me at the bar in 5 minutes, if I order another beer for myself, you try your hardest. If I order some kind of colourful cocktail, you don't try your hardest. But you know, the less talking we can do, I figure the better.
the less talking, the better.
As always.
As Stefan navigates, can you roll 2d6 for me, please?
I certainly can. I've been warming these for a while, and this is the bet. This is it.
This is the bet one. Here we go.
Be 6 or higher.
Six or lower. I want. Is it Spurs?
That's an 8.
Oh, an 8.
Okay.
No, he's rolling his mighty. Who picked him? Hey!
That's all right. I think I picked that. I was going to roll poorly.
Fids. Hang on.
Oh, thanks, sucks.
I was going to do that myself. I'm glad you did it. Saved me effort.
Oh, Sparrow.
Where's Ewan?
Trying to scupper or not? Who knows?
Sexy boy. There he is. Boon. Thanks, Spares. Aha! A boon to me. We got sexy Ewan. We've got boons. We've got bets coming off. Who made money on that? Was that you or Spares?
That was Sparrow. It wasn't me.
He believes in you.
We're all winners here, Sparrow.
Because of that roll, as you circulate around, it looks as if the guy at a loose end with a bit of money to burn, he's optimistic that it's going to be a quick one.
Ha! He doesn't know me.
I'll approach. I hear you're confident. You're confident in your betting on a quick run by the mascot.
He nods and says, "Yeah, I think it should be a quick one tonight.
Did you see them the other night?
I think this is the first run on this cruise, but mascots, they don't need time to warm up. The best they're ever going to do is the very first one."
I mean, to be fair, they're well practiced in those suits. They're professional. They're just as professional as the buckyball players. But
So Sarai catches them looking over at her, and Ben stands through some athletic stretches and falls over.
but I get a feeling
help me up.
that this is going to take a while. What's the time? What's the time frame? What's your ideal?
I reckon it'll sneak under 25.
Under 25 minutes?
Seconds.
Oh!
25 minutes. Whoa, seconds.
It's a weird flex, but okay.
Oh, I don't know which.
I tell you what.
Ludicrous.
I'll take some of that action.
All right.
Over 25 seconds for me. Under 25 seconds for you.
All right. He thinks about it for a moment and he says 500 on it.
Whew. I mean, I could get 500 over in that corner, and Stefan points over to like the rowdiest, humblest corner he can find. What do you say we make it really interesting?
Define really interesting.
How about? Hold on, I've got to do some quick maths here. How about 2,000?
Roll a persuade. With actually, sorry, roll a carouse with social.
It's about the same. Ooh, it's an 11 plus 1. Yeah, and 0 social.
Okay.
So plus 1, so it's 12.
Yeah, he may be slightly sozzled, but he says, "Yeah, 2,000 it is."
2,000. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm off to go get a drink. As a gesture of goodwill, can I buy you a drink as well? And he'll shake his hand for the bet.
Very kind of you. Thank you, sir.
What are you having?
He sort of waves at his basically empty glass. It's like, one of these. And out of the corner of your eye, you can see a Tim nodding and getting his next one lined up.
Perfect. Stefan will go to the bar, and Stefan will order the floofiest cocktail. Assuming that's a valid way to describe a cocktail.
Sure.
Solid.
It's a way.
It's an adjective, a good adjective.
And he'll stand at the bar for a couple of minutes and sip away at his cocktail and just make sure that Sarai has not necessarily got eye contact, but has seen him at the bar, and then head back over with both the drinks and hand one over to. What was your name? Sorry.
It's got to go in the encyclopedia.
We're not even on first name terms.
Max.
Max.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Max. I was expecting more, but that's fine. I very much look forward to this. I think this is going to be a fun run. And he'll cheers, Max.
Okay.
While Sarai is considering everything and her life choices up until this point, Stefan is caught in this moment where he suddenly feels he needs to explain to the room for a minute the need to enlighten everyone about the ethics of doing my best versus not trying at all.
Holy moly!
Can we get a timer up, Ben?
I mean, it's a bit late on a Friday night.
It's deep. This is the deepest one so far.
Can we? Hold on a second. Let me work out if we can. I mean, we can in theory. Bear with me a second.
But your blood type is absolute, as we already know.
That's
He's buying
not
you
it.
he's buying you time, Ewan. You should be thankful to your GM.
I'm not using it, but he's doing well. It's going to be a long minute.
A New York minute. That's a quick minute.
Is that Max Payne? Is that Max Payne?
Oh, I wish it was.
New York minute.
A lot of bullet time going on. Here we are.
Yeah.
It was. What a crossover.
Whoa, what a change to a serious screen for a serious conversation.
Right.
One-way conversation we're about to have.
The ethics of doing your best versus not trying at all.
Okay. That's close enough for our purposes, I'm sure.
I like it. That's good.
Okay.
Nailed it, Ben. Look at that.
So, are we ready?
I certainly am. Of course I am.
And your time starts now.
Now, there's a lot to unpack in the ethics of doing your best versus not trying at all. I think perhaps the most important thing is the final product. Surely, if you were trying your best to do something that would bring evil upon the world, then it would be ethically better to not try at all. Say you had a gun to your head and you were being told that you had to, I don't know, decode this computer, which would allow nefarious people access to nuclear weapons. You would not try your best, right? I mean, surely that's the ethical choice here. I've realised I've just gone into defending Stefan and Taraya's point of view, and I've not discussed the ethics at all. But come on, that's perfect for a minute.
No, it's not. That was about 40
more
seconds.
or less.
There you go. Time's up.
It was close.
If I could refund your credits.
Thanks.
I'm crying now. That made me laugh. Oh man, I'd rather be doing nothing else on a Friday night. Quite frankly, that's amazing. Oh, I've got the tears now. Oh,
I know you can't take them with you, but seriously, you guys need to stop putting me on the 60-second countdown.
I think we need to.
My town planning in Faversham was the best one, I think.
We need to refund. We need to refund Sparrow for that one. I think.
Yeah.
Hang on. How much did it cost? How much is a minute of wisdom?
It was socks, I think, wasn't it? Was it socks?
No, socks. It was socks. Sorry.
It's 600.
Socks. Hang on.
100 more than the We Stand for You, and I'll like to point out. So not only did you actively choose to not stand for me, but you actively decided to spend 100 more and listen to me blabber.
Socks seems happy with.
Turned out to be about 20 seconds.
Apparently, it was more than worth it.
If you want it, you can have a refund. I've set up a thing just in case you want it. You and all match some money.
Oh
man, my eyes are so watery right now. Okay.
But thanks. That was amusing. I amused myself.
Right. So the question is Saraya going to try and beat the 25 seconds or not?
I mean, is it ethically sound to do so, Luke?
This is why we're never going to have 500,000 viewers. Oh my goodness. I don't want them. I just want the people in chat right now. Do you know what I mean? Right, hang on.
People.
Right. So has Stefan come to me in a vision and told me what the deal is? Stefan, have you brought a beer over to me?
Well, you already set it up to the point where all he had to do was give you the nod as to which way to go.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need a particularly complicated exchange at that point.
Okay, so under 25 seconds for the guy, over 25 seconds for a share. Oh, I didn't say what my share was. Oh no, we'll have to worry about that later. I want to make it to the middle as best as I can. To the middle. Can we split it into two, please, Ben? If that's okay. I'd like to make it to the middle as best I can, please.
Okay, so let me explain the challenge, broadly speaking.
Yes.
Because the tube is facing directly away from Dukes.
Yep.
Is the reality. No matter how hard you push off from the side, you are going to lose a certain amount of speed because you're going through air. But it is entirely possible to hit that tube too quickly for the little fans you've got to slow you down sharply.
Oh no.
So the quickest way to do it, which isn't something that would be hard to twig once you're there and you can feel the amount of pressure you can get from the fans, would be to go straight down the tube as quickly as you can by pushing off from the boundary.
Yep.
And using the fans to accelerate you as much as possible. Once in the tube, use friction on the tube sides to slow yourself basically to zero.
Yep.
Then flip around the corner and use the fans as fast as possible to accelerate you all the way back.
Okie dokie. I've got dexterity 8, so that's not going to happen, but let's give it a go.
So in essence, those are the steps. In order to be quick, what you need to do is push off with great accuracy in order to make it into the tube.
Yep.
Then judge the slowing down in the tube.
Yeah. That might
And
be
then
intelligence, I guess.
accelerate well balanced on the jets for the return trip.
Okay, so it's 3 bits. I'd like to take the first one, please. I'd like to take it with a regular roll without using my boon at this moment, please.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Then this one is effectively going to be a pure precision check. This is how accurately you aim yourself. So this one is intellect.
Intellect. Oh, now we're talking. Okay, this is good. This is a best potential thing. Okay, pure intellect.
Your intellect check.
Which is a +1 because Sarah is smarter than she puts out. It's part of her way of doing things. Right, here we go. Come on. I think she hits it. 8 + 1 is 9.
9's not bad. Okay, it's not exactly perfect, but you make it to the tube entrance, have to sort of shoulder your way in a bit because you're not absolutely bang on. Lose a bit of speed unnecessarily on the way through. However, as you plow your way in, you do indeed make it into the tube successfully. So the second part, this is your ability to both judge the speed right and to physically brace yourself against the walls of the tube. So this is a strength check.
I will use I'll use my boon for this one, please, if that's okay.
Okay.
Am I currently hitting? Am I at the right pace currently to succeed for Stefan, or for the guy?
Marginal.
So we're still Borderland. Okay. Well, that's good because I've hit a. You said it was strength, which is a 0. A 6, a 4, and a 2. It's a 10. Very good, in fact.
A 10. Okay. You do manage to just brace yourself well enough in there to slow down. Perhaps not quite perfect, but you're still pretty confident. And you wedge yourself around the corner, and now finally you're floating free again of the tube, just looking straight at Dukes, trying to balance on the return trip on your fan jets. And this, of course, balanced on those jets, is pure dexterity.
Let's make a roll for it. Okay. I hit a 9. And I'm really going to go for it.
You're going to go for it.
I'm going to properly try and make it. Yeah, man, as quick as I can.
All right. This was effectively 1 over, 2 over, and 1 under the challenge requirement, which means you make it all the way back and touch in 23 seconds.
So I will take the applause as she comes in. Celebrate with the guy, looking over at the guy who's no doubt very happy.
He's thrilled.
Walks past Stefan and murmurs to him, "You dick, I'll buy you a drink."
Stefano, well, congratulations. Your gut clearly led you in the right direction. Here's some cash. And he'll tap his cashless card for 2,000 Imperial credits. Yes, you heard me correctly.
2,000 of the best credits.
Yeah.
Are you in the rest of the week?
Oh yes. I'll be around. Yeah, everybody knows me. Maximilian Crochet, Van Cotswolds.
Maximilian Crochet. Van Cotswolds. I've met several Van Cotswolds. We'll talk about it later on in the week, though. I'm sure you'll give me a chance to win my money back.
Naturally.
A pleasure.
Naturally. And he, enthusiastically smiles and downs his drink and goes looking for another. It looks like he's not going to be short of a few pennies to buy a few drinks.
Yeah, sure. And I bought him a drink. A pleasure as always. And Stefan will just walk off to the bar.
Cool. Okay. And with that little bit ended, I think it's probably time we call for our break.
I think that's a good call. In answer to tabletop, to top-down tabletop, have we all been playing together long? I lose track because of lockdown, right?
It feels like a lifetime sometimes when Luke doubles back on our shady deals. It feels like a long time. I'm going to be honest.
You deserve it. I think we started in early 2019 or late 2018? We played the original Traveller for like 8 months or so, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then we played that through a winter and into the spring, and then so it would have been 2019. So then late 2019 we finished up our original Traveller, played through at home.
Yep.
And then Ben offered us Mongoose Traveller 2nd, which is what we played, the modern version. Which we decided we were going to do. And so we decided we were going to do our character creation, which is a wonderful thing. And if no one even plays Traveller, we all recommend Traveller creation. We've done a video on it. It's amazing.
Yeah. It is brilliant.
It's so fun. And we started that in we did that in just as lockdown started, didn't we? So early 2020.
Yeah, it was the beginning of...
That was right at the beginning.
It was beginning of 2020, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to have another guy that played with us at the time as well, so we were a foursome. And then we sort of played a few sessions together over that summer. We sort of went quite hard weekly, like big drinky times at home. Then we went quite hard over the summer when lockdown eased. Big drinky times all round one person's house. Never got any role playing done because we'd not been out of the house for 6 months, and we just loved being in each other's presence again. So I think for about 3 months we didn't get any role playing done. Really, we sort of set up. Ben bought his laptop, all his planning that he'd done all week, and then we just drank. I think for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then and then sort of into the new year, we decided we were going to start streaming again. We're going to start streaming, and that's what we did there. So since 2019, that's it. 2 years. But we started every month or so, and then we've just become more and more. Especially during lockdown, it became a weekly thing. We'd all say it was for our sanity, right, to start with.
Most definitely during lockdown, It was a nice. It was something to look forward to every week.
Yeah, it was a big deal actually for all of us, I think, to have a weekly event, and being able to stream it made a difference as well. It kept us much more focused than we had been when we were just, well, getting drunk in in someone's sitting room.
We used to do like 8 p.m. till about 2:30 or 3. So that was about 6.5 hours. But we probably got less done than we do in like 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is fun.
Much less.
There's times for that though, and we're never going to be a dry, as in no alcohol kind of stream, because that's not what we've seen it as a group. But the first time I met Ben would have been about then. I've known you and a year or two more down the local pub. We started chatting to each other in about 2017, probably, I reckon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's relatively recent, but we play with each other so often now. I think we sort of know what's going on in each other's minds, and we can annoy each other and not care.
And we've played a lot of different games
to the right level.
We've played a huge range of board games and weird card games and party games, and obviously RPGs and things. We played a lot of different things, so that makes a difference.
That is very true. Yeah.
And as Fid said, actually, I think not about the highlight, because that's very generous of you. Before I really need to whiz on, keep it short, but. We said at the time when we would start streaming, and we didn't care if no one else was watching because we would do it anyway, and we still would. But it's an absolute delight for us. And we say it quite a lot in chat after when you guys have gone and we have our little Teams wind down, that it means a lot to us for people to join us. We look like, if you're a lurker, wonderful. If you sort of pop in every now and again, wonderful. We love you all you guys. But then the guys that join in the chat, you're part of the crew, which I think is something we said, right, as part of our language. Like, me and Ewan are just 4 members of the crew between us, but the rest of you are as well. We're all on the journey together. And like you can see, we break the fourth wall literally all the time. And we take our...
we don't really have one.
And I think we just want to share the joy that we have with it. We don't want to pretend what we're not. We're not professional. We're not, smart. We're not, in that regard, we're very smart, especially Ben. But, in that regard of trying to be clever about how we're doing things, we just want to have a nice time with you guys. We play on Friday and Saturday nights. They're the nights when people need to chill, right? And we just want you guys to hang out and feel free to chat and get involved and play Sexy Boy, and I'll do Love Hearts with Ewan's head in, and we just want you guys to come and chill. And life's hard, and if you come and hang with us for a couple of hours and just have a nice time, it's good. I'll drink to that, Ali. Thank you. Ali's had a hard week. Can we all drink to Ali, in fact, because she's worked very hard. She's amazed. She's an amazing upholsterer now. She went through training during... Exactly.
That's a lot of our drink to that.
To Ewan and to Ali. Ali, who's an amazing upholsterer, she did all the training leading up to and during lockdown. Has amazing skills. And all you guys, we do TDT. I'm terrible with that, but someone will link you to it. And not me, though, because like I said, that's not my skills. There we are, Fids. It's normally Fids or Ewan.
Oh, Fids is on it. I didn't even get into Discords.
Ali made a chair that someone wanted to offer like thousands for, like literally thousands. And like, I was most excited because there's a kids' TV show, The Junkyard Something, and there's a woman on that likes Ali's stuff, like a literal TV celebrity and like very famous what they call the people that like take skanky stuff and improve it thingy.
Upscalers.
Upcycler. Like bigs up Ali as well. So I think it's really cool. And we're surrounded by so many skilled and interesting and fun people, all of you, and we love it.
That is very true. That is very true.
Right. Shall we have a wee? Shall we all have a wee?
Yeah. Let's have a little break. We'll be back in 5 or so.
Yes.
And we will resume at that point. So stick with us if you can. See you soon.
Right, let me do this in my most classy way I can. Right, hang on.
The usual way.
You're now going to get an actual talking through exactly how he does this.
Right, that we need to get rid of that.
Which is educational, if nothing else.
And then I'll put that music on. So music should be playing now. Then we'll click... I feel like my dad did this. Then we'll click this off. Then we'll click that off, and then it's break time. There's break time. Oh, there's our Etsy if anyone wants to buy any of our gear. Break time. Then I'll turn them off. Then I'll turn me off, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Yeah, Ali, feel free to share the link to your Etsy, which is amazing, by the way. And then I'll log it again. All of you can always share links to stuff you do. Okay? Right, I'm looking. Right, here you go. 5 minutes. See you in 5. Go.
So this is the time of the evening when we charge our glasses and talk about a dearly departed member of the crew who was sadly unable to be part of this leg of the journey because his shipmates took him on a mission that proved to be extremely dangerous, at least for him. And it falls to me to tell you a little bit of the backstory, but because he's such a legendary figure, it turns out many people have told different versions of his backstory and how he came to earn his cocktail shaker. For a barman, he was. And there's one version of the story where he was living on a tiny backwater desert planet where he'd just taken possession of a couple of droids and was fixing them up. And one of them went missing, and he had to set out with the other one across this forbidding desert. And after some significantly risky encounters, he made his way to this aged wizard who gave him, as part of a legacy handed down from his father, this amazingly crafted, handmade cocktail shaker, an elegant cocktail shaker, you might say, and it is that he then took on his adventures, and some time later, of course, blundered into a couple of trigger-happy members of the Baltic Star crew and was recruited to be part of their team. Now, I don't know if that's any more true than any of the other versions of how he came about, but one of them's probably true, at least from some point of telling. And in any event, it is time that we raise our glasses to the late, great Greyhill Bast.
The late great Greyhill Bast.
To Greyhill Bast.
He was the best of us and still is, quite frankly.
To Greyhill, to Greyhill,
To Greyhill, to Greyhill, to his forearms.
Lots of to Greyhills. And to his forearms and his chin.
Forearms, his chin, to his forearms and his chin, to his good hairline for his age as well.
To Greyhill.
To his appearance in Sock Fiddlers and Sparrow's Dreams over the last year.
Okay, so we have essentially covered the events of the...
To Greyhill.
To Greyhill. Oh man, it's a heavy Greyhill night.
Oh,
it's a heavy Greyhill.
That's not the right wine for Greyhill. It must be something.
I'm there for it. It's not, but I'm there for it.
Oh, now I need to all the
so
graphics.
we have essentially covered the initial sort of getting to know you part at Duke's, and we know what's happened at Rack's party. So what else do the team want to do before they wend their way to bed for the evening?
I want, like, Soraya, being the fishy character she is now, and Fizz, we will take Greyhill toasts. I'm sure either Ben or one of us will take a toast when either Ben has to toast. So TBT, basically the toast responsibilities pass around. So at the moment it's Ben's, but every 6 to 8 weeks probably.
There or thereabouts.
We'll do something in game where one of my PCs, one of Ewan's PCs, and Ben will take charge of an NPC. Something will happen that will do some gambling, and the loser takes on toasting duties for the next foreseeable thing. It's a bit more fourth wall stuff, but yes. So
and I was let down by a Tim a few weeks ago.
Tim, you were honourably supported by Tim, who realised it was your turn. Quite frankly,
Tim did not gamble well.
They do not.
Look, It made a very good picnic, though. I enjoyed that vegan picnic.
Oh man, that was a good picnic.
Strong picnic. Not even vegan, but I enjoyed it. Sarai would like, and she's tipped our boy off. Tipped old what's his Rick? Tipped Rick off. And I think Stefan's in the vibe as well. I just want to schmooze around the bar to get any interesting stories or bits. You know, we've got the murder thing going on. We know who the murderer is, but there might be tidbits. We know there's a pervert. Hopefully that's been sorted. But I think Sarai's main thing was that for the sake of, that's why security let her do it. That part of her thing would just be listening out to things. You know, pose for a photo, lift the flipper up, have a picture, have a little, you know, and just wander around and listening out to any conversations. And that's her plan for the evening. And I think she sort of told Rick the same, really. I'm not in charge of Stefan, so I wouldn't know. But, do you know what I mean? That's what Sarai's plan, I guess, for the rest of the evening.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to aim for then is we're going to do a little bit of, I don't know exactly how to describe this, but rumour mongering kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I'm going to write the word Moses. Can I write Moses?
Moses.
Not Moses. Not the Old Testament guy. She moseys around. She's not going to mosey.
Sure.
She's not going to sit in a basket and wait to be washed around the place. She's going to mosey.
Okay.
Decision.
Well, I know Stefan would manage it somehow. It'd work out a way to do it.
Yeah. And obviously Rick will do the same thing, meander around and see if he can catch any info. Okay. All right. What we're going to do then is just in general.
Fids, you're right. I can't spell Mosey. I think it's Mosey. Moses? No. We'll worry. Let Ben do his thing. We'll worry about that. Sorry, carry on, Ben.
So I think the way we're going to do this is we're going to do a set of carouse checks.
Lovely.
Is Stefan in on this as well?
I guess that depends. Stefan's first protocol is he's gonna go straight up to Soraya and he's gonna be like, "What are you doing? That's my retirement fund."
Right, I'm just saving you from yourself. All you do is spend it on a pocket nuke.
No, I haven't spent anything in ages. We had a deal. We're gonna split. Man, I'm glad you won. Where's my drink?
I've heard from Tim that you're on the floofiest cocktail that I have, so bear with me a second.
No.
And she walks up to the bar and and she's in a terrible fish outfit with her eyes just peeking through the eyes. And she's like, Tim, how are you? Tim, you good?
All good, thank you.
Is it the same Tim? He won't recognise it, but is it the same Tim from the other night?
Yes, actually it is.
Tim, you don't know me, but I know you. Very sinister coming from a giant fish. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. How can I help?
My former friend here, this guy, I think you've served him already tonight. Apparently he's on the floofiest cocktails going. Could you make him an extra floofy cocktail for me, please? Go big. All the shots, big as you can. Like a 30 credit cocktail.
We can definitely do you one of those.
Please do. And I'll tell you what, keep a tab running. If he just drinks floofy cocktails, I'll pay for his drinks for the rest of the night.
Lovely.
Cool. I'll tell you what, I'll take 30 credits off now. Keep me posted, and I will pay for any floofy cocktails going forwards.
All
for
right.
him, though, not for the crowd, just for him. I'm not that rich.
Just for him, sure.
Yeah.
He digs out something that he cheerfully explains to you is a Dilla Brew iced tea.
Oh, yes.
It sounds wonderful, Tim. Thank you. Thank you, Soraya.
It's the least you deserve. And Soraya walks past that Maximilian guy and winks. He doesn't see it at all because she's in a big fish head.
Mm.
And she says, I hear you're the man who believed in me.
Always bet on talent.
Can I serenade you?
If
Have you
must.
ever been serenaded by a fish before?
Actually, I was going to ask you that. Are you a really big fish, or if I had just a little bit too much to drink?
Soraya takes a hand between her two fins. It's very awkward. She just about manages it in front of her. She sort of looks in fish eye to the eyes and she sings, You believed in me. Now I will believe in you. And she slaps him on the back and says, You know this guy. She points to Stefan. You know this guy. I believe he was the one trying to take money off you. But I believe in you. I believe in you, Max. I believe in you. I believe in you. You backed me. Why don't we do a little gamble? And I will believe in you. I've got your back all the way. How about you and me, Max? We put 1,000 credits in each, and this tow rag has to put in 2,000.
I've lost enough money tonight,
Stefan, he believed in me, and I believed in him. Don't ruin it for us.
I mean, I was purposely avoiding names, but sure.
That's okay. You tell me your name when I bought you a drink. I'm buying drinks for everyone. Maximilian, Stefan. Shall we?
Up with iced tea.
A simple game, Maximilian. Tim, do you have any dice at all?
Yes, Tim has dice.
Maximilian, why don't you and I roll a dice each? And this guy roll 2 dice, and whoever has the highest takes the money. I believe in you. I believe in you, Maximilian.
Works for me. What happens if we tie?
Tim gets all the money.
Works for Tim.
Come on, Stefan. Me and Ben are going to roll 1 each. Come on, Stefan.
I'm in.
Okay. What you got? So okay, poker face.
I'm just gonna hold that up there. That is in fact a double 6.
Double 6.
Mm.
What did you get, Maxi?
I mean,
baby?
I feel bad.
What did you get, Maxi baby? A 4 and a 5. It looks like, Maxi baby, we need to give him back 1,000
in my pockets.
1,000 credits each back to this Chancer. Easy come, easy go.
Max, I tell you what, why don't you keep your 1,000 and I'll take the 1,000 off of my friend here. And we're calling it even.
Seems only fair.
I mean, that seems about right.
Frankly,
I feel bad for doing so well.
Sarai gives Stefan 1,000 and then blips Tim 345 credits just for being there, because then that takes me down to an even number. Thank you.
Okay. So you want to do some sort of rumour investigating at the party or the dukes? Okay.
A bit of schmoozing. Schmoozing.
What we're going to do here is some carouse checks, basically. Rick will do his bit to help out. You each get, if you want to be part of it, you each get a carouse check. And what we're looking for here is essentially a sum total. You'll be passing each other little hints and tips throughout the evening to go and ask about the next thing and see if you can build up a picture. And there is potentially information available at the bar, and let's see how much of it you can extract.
Let's do it.
So, I'll roll for Rick.
Cool.
Oh, that's not bad. His carouse is, well, awful.
Oh, Ricky
As in,
baby.
he doesn't have it.
That's okay.
But even so, he's still got a 6 because he rolled a 9.
Nice.
To be fair,
and-
Rick's a biological scientist. He doesn't need any carousing in his general line of work.
That's all the carousing he needs.
That's it. The bones. The bones.
Yeah.
love
So, what did you guys do?
it. You said with a carouse check. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Just a
with a
flat carouse.
carouse.
9 plus 0 is 9.
Oh, I might have broken this one. 5 plus 1 is 6.
So I was
Okay.
Apologies. I'm
So
paying
I
for
was
those
trying
double sixes.
hard. Yeah, just classic Stefan. When it comes to money, he's rolling double sixes. When it comes to helping out the rest of the people, he's rolling 6.
And there was a time when he did really well on a front flip.
All right.
Again, self-personal gain, yeah. Classic Stefan.
Over the course of the evening, what I'm going to do is give you a brief overview of the stuff that you loosely glean.
Cool.
And it's not really all that juicy, I'm afraid. There are a few comments back and forth about various alleged scandals involving players or administrators, and a couple of teams that are completely uninvolved in this match. But word has got around that this team's player is up to no good, or is leaking stories about the team to the press. There's a couple of stories about players getting involved in gambling, and one guy who was kicked out of his team accommodations for violating various rules, and ended up having to kip in a ship in the hangar bay of his equivalent buckyball cruise ship, rather than actually be able to stay in the quarters on the main liner. So there have been a variety of things like that. And you meet a couple of people who are sort of vaguely interested, but I mean, they're more curious about the costume than anything else. Once they actually get to speak to the person inside the costume, their interest wanes fairly
What?
No,
That is a lot of shade right there.
You don't end up with a very big sense of progress in the event. Now, can you roll a d6 for me, please, Luke? Since you're kind of leading this one.
Never been more offended, Ben. Quite frankly. It's a 2.
It's a 2. Okay. So. All right. So, though it does feel like you're not getting anywhere, it also seems like a reasonably pleasant sort of way to wind up an evening. And it does essentially take you until Duke's is beginning to empty and people are starting to get ready for bed. Because after all, there's a busy day tomorrow with lots and lots of buckyball to play.
So lots of buckyball to play. Well, what a busted flush that was. Thanks, TBT. Have a lovely weekend. We'll come and hunt you down. I didn't
And
mean
good
to
luck
sound
with
that.
the laundry.
Yeah. Oh no. That's true. At some point, Sarah will turn to Stefan. How many drinks have you had that night, Stefan? I need to get rid of some money, if that's the case.
I'm still my first.
Wow, Stefan. That's true. He does like to watch his back and watch the door, doesn't he? So.
Yep, he's not a heavy drinker, Stefan.
Okay. Sarah will sort of sidle up to Stefan and say, "Well, I didn't get much, did you?"
Nothing.
At least
I mean, what I had, I led on to Rick, I guess.
That's it. Rick, anything?
Not a lot. Just a lot of gossip about people being thrown out of various teams and, kicked out of their accommodations and everything. Nothing big, and nothing that relates directly to this ship either.
I was going to say, any current names for Geek or De La Rue, but I didn't get any myself.
No. Sorry, I tried my best, but it's not really my skill set.
I hope you had a nice night, though, and had a few drinks on you.
Oh,
and a nice
lovely.
time.
Yeah, thanks. Had a few drinks, had a nice chat with some nice people. Yeah, it's been solid. Very good, thank you.
Do you think they'll let me keep the suit?
I mean, if you don't ask, you'll never find out. But no, not in a million years.
Well, I'll take it back to the I'll take it back to the apartment tonight, and people can take it in turns to wear it if they want to before bed. We can take a lot. We can take a lot of pictures. Yeah, a lot of selfies, fishy selfies. If you can wear it if you want, Rick, as well. We got loads of Geeks merch in there. We can have a good old house party before bed. How about that? Cara's still got some nuts around, some cheesy biscuits.
Oh, there's a ton of nuts. Ton of nuts back at
lot of nuts left.
Accommodation.
Let's do it. Let's head back and have a quiet couple of nightcaps and settle in for the evening.
Fantastic. I tell you what, Stefan, can you go grab a couple of bottles from the nearest the shop and top up, or the three of us will go back and Sue's back there and chill out for the evening.
Yeah, sure. I'll meet you back there. And Stefan will head straight to the bar. And he'll try and find out that Tim that Soraya was talking to.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Do you remember my friend offered to pay for my drinks all evening? She's just leaving. If you just at the door there, you can see her leaving. She wants 2 bottles of whiskey, 2 bottles of tequila, and a bottle of what's the really sugary stuff you guys have got? I forgot the name. She told me.
Rockfall.
Sugar.
Yeah. That's the stuff. She'd like that on her tab, please.
Okay.
How much?
Roll a persuade for me, please. With Bane, because you're dealing with someone who's met the odd chancer at a bar before.
Yeah, third person. Luke, I wasn't going to try and get you to actually pay for it.
And Tim's and Soraya are like this. They're like they've all the Sorayas around the whole universe, and Soraya are like best friends before it even happens. So of course Soraya will pay for it.
Persuade with Bane. Oh, that's not good. That's a 5 total.
Okay. He listens attentively and then glances across
Going on the
to
recount.
see Soraya leaving. If Soraya chooses to be aware of what's going on, because she's been close to the bar while this little speech began before she set off, she can, of course, choose to give the nod to the Tim.
She'll turn round and she'll say, I'll buy the whiskies and tequilas, but I'm not buying that sugary filth.
Fair enough. There you go.
Stefan's stands there kind of speechless, I guess. Like, what? I mean, first off, I got turned down. Second off, she knew what was going on. Madness.
That'll be about 150, Luke.
150. Okay, cool. Thank you. Got it.
Okay. All right. So 4 bottles of spirits tucked under an arm.
Stefan will just quickly ask the total before he leaves, just so he's got it all up here.
Yeah, it'll come to 100.
Yeah,
150. Yeah, got it.
Cool. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And he'll meet them back in the room.
Okay, good. All right, and this is going to be about the same time that Telon Rack's party winds up, obviously Vicarage is also heading off to bed, having had a very nice evening and a gentle drink with some friends, and she's made a pretty decent sale.
Yeah.
So she's going to bed, really very happy.
I bet she is.
And presumably the other 2 from that party, unless they want to have a a particular word with Rack? I mean, mind you, he's mostly gone now.
Do you mean physically or mentally?
He's making vowel sounds, but you're not going to get a lot of sense out of him at this point in the evening.
I get the vibe. Yeah, cool. Sorry, Luke. What were you going to say?
No, sorry. Keep talking. I'm working out because Kara's just working out how much she's going to sting the four of them for, if that makes sense. For the guns.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. 14. I haven't got a calculator with me because I'm using my phone. So carry on.
Agnar will approach Rack and just well, as I said before, it's been a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I suppose potentially before you wander off into the wilderness for well, who knows how long. Thank you for having us at your party. Thank you for the drinks, for entertaining us, for the guests, for the company. It's been a wonderful time. We've both thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. If there's anything we can do to be of assistance in the future, you have my number certainly. Here's a Baltic Star direct line to the main computer or whatever we can muster. We'd be more than happy to hear from you and to assist.
Lovely. Stay in touch with Jax. She might have things.
Oh yes, that's what I like to
Jax
hear.
is the person. We got Jax. That's very good to hear. They seem a solid, reliable person. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yes, Jax, very good person. Very dangerous person. For those around her.
That's my favorite kind of person. And he'll shoot him a wink.
Yeah, she's great.
I've heard she's less of a top floor apartment flash person and more of a basement kind of Jax.
Luke, you don't want to start a game where punning is involved because you know that eventually you're going to have to come around and beat me to death with a bat.
Neither. I'm not going to win that. That's why I go for the low hanging fruit and then I turn off my webcam and go to bed.
So yes, so you wind up and you head back to your own rather elegantly turned out stateroom, much larger and more impressive than Rack's, and reassemble with the others. Everybody's had a fairly pleasant evening. The women are back from the hot tubbing. And have been for a little while now. There's only so much floof you can get.
Unless you're Agnar. That's everyone, infinite floof.
Settles in for a couple of drinks for the night. Looking forward to a slight hangover probably in the morning, but otherwise stuff to do. Buckyball, a murder to investigate, and some weapons to acquire.
That is true, and a Jax to contact maybe. Speaking of the weapons to acquire, when everyone sat round drinking the booze, the non-sugary booze, and eating the peanuts, and everyone's in a good spirit, Kara sort of shares it with the crew. I guess there's the four of us. There's Zoe. There's I guess, but the Cresses. There's the Rose. There's the Rick. Everyone's there, and Kara will share her dealings with June, and she'll say, as part of it, she'll say, so what I've decided is, we know that we're heading on to the unknown, I guess, and we wanted to make sure that there were weapons on ship, because I think a lot of you guys are relying on laser pistols and slug pistols that you've brought with you, quite frankly, and us as the people that generally lead you into danger and misery, we wanted to, I guess, ensure that everyone was okay. So I've done a deal with June tomorrow. I'd like Stefan to come with me, because he's the only one that's had a run-in with weapons on board the ship, and I am still suspicious. And she'll share about the fact that, you know, June has done a deal with someone on the ship beforehand. I'm a bit, you know, I'm wondering if she did have dealings with Frosty. And I'd love you with me, Stefan, just to sort of see if you can get a vibe with that. I think that'd be. Are you okay with that tomorrow? To come with me tomorrow for that? So
I'll
catch an
come
overall vibe of it. I'd really
I'll
appreciate
come
it. So I'm picking for the crew 4 carbine Gauss rifles, 5 flechette pistols, 2 of these really fancy guns, which we're gonna have to rock scissors paper for who gets to use them on any planet we go down to. Quite frankly, loads of ammo. I knocked it down. We're paying 90 now. We've got a central pot which we're going to drain. Agnar agreed, and I hope you guys too. The fishy pot. We bought some fish. But it's 32,400, and between the 4 of us that cause the most trouble, if everyone is willing to drop 14,400 as a gesture of goodwill, that will then cover everything we need. Is everyone okay with that?
Agnar says, yeah, sure. 14,400.
14,400, please.
14,400.
Okay.
But just the 4 troublemakers. We won't ask the rest of you because you are the ones we tend to drag in with us.
Stefan will shoot a look over to Soraya and just say, well, this is starting to become a really expensive, all expenses paid trip. And hold out his cashier's card.
Zoe's gonna nod and say, "You mind if I come with you tomorrow?"
You know what, Zoe? I'd really, really appreciate that as well. As between the 3 of us, I think we can catch what's going on and sort of catch a vibe for it. The reason why I called Stefan to come as well is that, as you'll be aware, Laura Frost had some gear on ship. And I don't know weapons as well as you. You're probably the best person for high-tech weapons. And Stefan's seen the weapons, so actually you coming as well just catches a vibe of it. This is someone I want to trade with in the future. I think there's a lot of positivity in it, but I would love you to come along.
Also, she doesn't want to say it, but I'm dodgy as hell.
Stefan, yeah. And I don't trust him. He'll probably run away with it. He'll probably bet it with some von Cotswold somewhere.
Mm. Well, Zoe says, well, happy to do all of that. I was also thinking, we've got a high-end arms dealer. I might take a look at what she's got and see if she's interested in a swap with my weapon.
Oh.
Depending on whether or not it's the right fit for me, you know. Because we do a lot more stuff in cities and close areas than out in the long distance these days. So my Gauss rifle is it's a bit of a long range specialist thing, you know.
Yes. No, that's perfect. She said she's got a whole load of stuff, and I think, yeah, that would be really cool. I'm sure she'll have something for you.
Good. We'll check it out.
You got us enough ammo to last, like a year or something, right? Agnar also.
I've got 10 lots of. It was 80 rounds, wasn't it, for the carbine? Specialist.
The carbines each have an 80-round magazine, yes.
I've got 10 mags of the 80 for the guided. I've got 20 mags of 25 rounds for the flechettes. And the carbine Gauss we can just buy in a local quick save. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty common stuff.
Yeah. Don't want to pay black market prices, I guess.
I bought the specialist stuff. We've literally got Gauss rounds. Soraya's got Gauss rounds.
Sounds a solid setup.
Cool.
Yeah. The Gauss carbines that you were shown, they'll take standard Gauss rifle magazines. And those are available anywhere that's high tech enough to stock them. It's only the special guided ammo that would be hard to find.
Yeah, which is why we got 10 rounds of that, 10 mags of that. So we got 800 rounds of that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is quite a few shots when you think about it.
It should be enough even for the worst of us. Of course, Cara will wink at Sammy and say, of course, Sammy only needs one.
One shot, Sammy.
Stefan, why don't you go and hide behind Sammy for old time's sake for a little while?
Why don't you pay me my 2,000 credits?
So, right, what did you do to him? Have you upset him tonight?
No, it's for I'm only German and I'm only joking. You know what we like.
Oh,
It's all good.
It's all good in the hood. Nice. Okay, that's all Cara had needed to do. There's no computers to hack. There's no weird things to sniff.
Nope. Nothing else to sniff.
Nothing to be sniffed.
Nothing to be sniffed. Oh,
No coats to lick.
it's not a good night if there's no coats to lick or things to sniff.
Not a single
very-
coat to lick.
Boring Baltic Star nights.
It is, however, since people are now heading off to bed, probably a perfect time to conclude for this evening.
Yeah, I think it's a nice as the sun sets.
Yeah. It feels a reaffirming
Yeah.
kind of
I mean,
vibe.
I feel slightly disappointed that it doesn't end on some horrific cliffhanger, but we'll do that next time.
Yeah.
All right, calm down.
I think it's nice to have an equal mix between horrific cliffhanger and nice, warm crew vibes
I don't know.
we've got going on right now.
I prefer a 9 to 10 mix. 9 warm crew vibes and 1 horrific cliffhanger.
Oh,
Okay.
That's out there.
Preferably involving sea bats.
Seabats are
Or
good.
Fess.
Oh, fair. No.
Or Anton Fess.
1 in 40 involves Anton Fest. No more than that.
Yeah, we do like a seabat.
We don't
That's
like
fair.
Anton Fest. Fest.
Yes.
That's good stuff, man. Thank you. It did feel the right time. You're right.
Yeah, it was a good time. But thank you both very much, and thank you everyone for watching. It's been a blast. I've certainly thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I think it's been a fun one tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, and in the background, I've had just a couple of little wins that have amused me as well, so that's nice.
Well, we like to throw you wins every now and then, don't we, Luke?
Absolutely.
It just keeps him on his toes a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's imaginary money at the end of the day. It's all good fun. It's just the most important thing.
As long as we're having fun, don't matter what anyone else thinks. We're just
Oh, quite right.
Right. What's happening? What's happening over this next week? I'm so confused. Ewan, tomorrow, you're the all powerful. Tomorrow, what's happening? All powerful.
I am. Well, tomorrow I'm the all powerful, and as such, Stefan's getting his 2,000 credits back.
Oh, you're just so
really.
bitter. So
No,
bitter.
not at all.
So bitter.
We are playing a fun game with friendo Sparrow called Save Dave,
Sparrow.
where the three of you will attempt to save the one shining beacon of hope in your dead-end town, Dave, from whatever has befalled him. I'm going to roll some dice tomorrow. You're going to roll some dice. We're going to tell a story. It'll be fun.
Sounds brilliant. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because it's going to be, new.
Yeah, I'm pretty on the fly as well. I'm kind of using it as an exercise in ad-libbing. There's not a great deal to plan out. It's quite rules light. It's quite fun. It's quite we'll see where things go, and
Lovely.
it'll be enjoyable. Hopefully.
I'm looking forward to it. It must be said. I think it's going to be good, man. I think everything you said about it is what is story and talking deep and stress light in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of chat. There's a lot of making up stories about you and Dave, as well as what is currently happening at the time.
Making up everything I say about me and Dave is going to be true. We were the
well,
best friends. You think you were best friends with Dave, but you weren't. Me and Dave were best friends.
Well, that's important because you've got to work together with Dave.
Oh, it's going to be good, man. I'm very looking forward to it.
What's happening Sunday, Luke?
Spooky Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. Where Spooky Sunday is basically centered around Ben coming and mocking me in a spooky way.
In there somewhere.
Spooky Sunday. Although I'm playing the game, it's all about Ben. Quite frankly, he's the center of spookiness. Him and Vincent Price are like a combined. What are those things where they combine two animals together? What were they called? Some creepy creation. There was a name for like two animals horrifically combined.
Chimera.
A chimera.
A chimera, yeah. The Ben and Vincent Price are like the horror chimera. So everything focuses on the two of them, and I'm just a vessel for both of their spookiness. But we play until dawn. We're getting through. Last session was quite big. A couple of big things happened. People we thought were dead weren't dead. People we thought weren't evil are evil. And there were a lot of noises in a mine. And I'm a bit nervous I'm always nervous, but I'm very nervous going forwards. But it's Spooky Sunday. It's all about Spooky Sunday. Join the chat. Ben keeps it sane in the chat, so it's all good.
Sane-ish.
Sane-ish.
I'm not equipped for pure sanity.
Ben's like he's like the crypt keeper from those old TV shows.
Oh, yeah. That's a program.
It is. So that's awesome. And then we'll roll around to next week, Thursday, Friday. Next Friday,
Friday.
Next Friday, we're not doing our usual stream though.
No, next Friday we are off eating.
Yes, and drinking.
There will no doubt be drinking. It is
and playing games. Don't we have some games lined up? Isn't there something?
We have at least one.
I've heard rumours. Yeah.
We're going to play the Eye of Argon.
That sounds ominous. I'll be honest.
Isn't that what you put in washing machines to make them live longer?
It is a terrifying, terrifying game. And eminently suited to this kind of thing.
Oh, no.
Which is all we can ask, really.
I think that's all we need to ask, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that. So that is the night. It got delayed a couple of times because of my COVID and then Ewan's COVID. But Ewan doesn't boast about his. I did about mine because of my husky voice. But Ewan's low key. We all know this. But we had to delay it a couple of times. But we're going to hit our first subscription payout night out, which is now becoming the Baltic Style Christmas party as well.
Effectively, it is, isn't it?
Yes. I'm really looking forward to it. So it's our Christmas party night out, and we will do some live streaming off phones for you guys if you want to join in. Don't if you hate the fact that we're out enjoying ourselves on your money, but do if you're happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a sort of 2-hour-long stream, you understand, but we'll try and check in for a few minutes at some point, I'm sure.
It feels fair, considering we're drinking all of your money.
Indeed. And you may be able to watch us play the Eye of Argon. And if you haven't seen it played, I promise you're in for a treat.
I've not played it, so it could be.
I've never seen it or played it.
And you guys have followed my instruction and not looked up what it is.
No idea what it is, mate.
Which frankly sounds like it's one of those things that is designed to trick us into learning the rules of.
Am I joining
the rules of the game the hard way? Do you know what I mean?
The rules are insanely simple. You'll understand it completely before we start playing, and. All I can tell you is this. You know how... Have you ever seen the film The Aristocrats?
No, I know the joke, The Aristocrats, but that's a completely different thing.
That is exactly what the film's about.
Is that one? Is that the one with all the cats? Well. Is that the one with all the cats?
No. No, it's not that kind of film at all. It basically...
Well, in that case, Ben.
Stand-up comedians in the United States had this tradition, apparently, that each of them would tell the same joke, but their own way. And so, allegedly, when stand-up comedians in the US got together, they would tell this joke for each other's amusement. It was like a rite of passage. When screenwriters get together, they play the Eye of Argon.
Oh, all right. Ooh.
Uh,
It could be an interesting stream.
oh no.
So that's all I can tell you about it. It's the game that that screenwriters play when they get together.
Right, we've got one screenwriter and 2 idiots, so we might be all right.
We'll be fine.
I
That's
feel he's got an
really
unfair
good
advantage.
proportion of screenwriters for this game.
More screenwriters than I feel comfortable with, quite frankly.
You might argue that no screenwriters is actually better for this game.
It needs one to pass on the history of it, I guess.
You probably need someone to tell you the inside story. Yes,
Or at least initiate the rules.
absolutely. So yeah, we can have a go at it, and yeah, with any luck, it'll work nicely.
It sounds fun.
It does sound
In a
fun,
weird-
doesn't it?
No, I don't want to say that sounds fun because you've just explained to me what it is, and I know what the aristocrats is. It doesn't sound fun. It sounds horrific.
Oh, I need to come up with a really quick roleplay game that lasts about 30 minutes that involves drinking as well. Maybe we could do some Baltic style drinking games while we're there afterwards as well. Let's do the what do you call Eye of Argon? Do you say?
Mhm.
Eye of Argon and some Baltic style related hijinks. We'll tune in for like 30 minutes an hour or something like that as part of our evening. Because you guys paid for it, frankly, so we want to give you.
Yeah.
We want to involve
It
you
would
guys.
be nice to share it with you guys if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, both of those things sound about standard for us.
It's what we do on a normal night anyway, isn't it? What's that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Cool. Right. I was going to jump to somewhere, and then they finished their stream, which is rather rude of them. So I've got no idea where to go now. I don't know if we will. We probably should, shouldn't we? Hang on. Oh, tabletop anthologies. They're okay. Let's do them. Right.
Yeah,
We're going to.
Ah, we love tabletop.
they're
Yeah,
a nice
exactly.
crowd.
After the
Anthologies. Right. I think that's how we spell it. It's a capital T. I'm quite sure it won't mess me up for that. Anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. It was really fun. I thought it was
been a
really good
blast.
vibes. And thank you for those that stuck it out. We'll see you tomorrow for Spooky Sunday. Where
Tomorrow's
be-
safe
We'll
day.
see you tomorrow for Saturday.
no,
And
Saturday's
then we'll
not.
see you
Yeah, Spooky
tomorrow
Sunday.
for Sunday. It's Spooky Sunday.
Saturday's Save Dave. That's even
There's a
better.
whole
Save
lot of
Dave
days in the
tomorrow.
week.
Oh, Save Dave. I lost a day then.
No, it's fine, Luke. We'll just spooky it up.
Can we save Spooky Dave?
Save Spooky Dave. Spooky Save Dave.
Spooky Save Dave. Save Dave. Spooky.
Save Dave Spooky. Who knows?
I'm really looking forward to Save Dave now. Actually, even more so now that I forgot a day.
Yeah.
And I thought the weekend was nearly over already. Yes.
Mm.
It's because my little daughter was sick today, so everyone sort of had a day off, so it felt a bit weekendy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Let's save Dave tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Let's raid.
good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Is he gonna let me raid? I thought I typed the right thing. Exclamation mark. Is that right? No, hang on.
I
Raid.
think so.
Oh no, I did the wrong thing. Hang on. Anthologies. Oh, that fell apart there. It's okay. We're there. We're done. We're going now. We're off. Farewell, everyone. Oh,
Cheers. Good night.
Save Dave.
Good night.
I'm really looking forward to Save Dave now. Okay. We just raided.
Cool. I'm gonna shoot. Apologies, it's quick.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all, sir.
I'm at
Um,
6 hours.
Oh, we got a raid coming through. Thanks, boys.
With
from the
kids.
Baltic Star. Appreciate you coming
Oh,
over.
completely understood. Yes. Yeah, have a very good night and have a successful show day tomorrow for the girls.
Yeah, thanks.
And
Yeah, man.
and
Have an amazing time.
yeah, and enjoy your trip to Canterbury.